So I don't actually post a lot or make a lot of videos about things that happen with business clients or operations or things that I handle on the business operations or development side. However, I do a lot of small business work, and my law firm is not the only business that I own either. So I had an issue today, and I've spent about the last 3 hours trying to resolve it. And anyone who's ever talked to me, worked with me, knows that I don't give up. And I usually won't stop in the day that I'm sitting in my chair until I have resolved whatever that issue is. I'm not willing to consider the fact that I have to give up because I'm at the mercy of some bureaucracy somewhere else. Today, I was working on an issue with Square. We do card processing through Square with some of my business stuff. Obviously, I have a lot of clients who use Square. I'm going to tag them in this because I'm actually floored at what's happened and what's transpired today. Seems simple enough, but actually it has a lot of repercussions for a lot of people, and most people probably don't know that these things exist or happen behind the scenes. So Square, you can, yes, process credit cards and things through Square, but you can also do Square banking. So if you process your payments or take in, as a small business owner, a lot of your payments or anything through Square, and if you have employees, you have the option of also doing payroll through Square and having a Square checking or savings account, so they say. However, the reality is, if you opt to open a Square checking account for your business because you are processing payment through Square, it's not actually a bank account. It's not actually a checking account. They are a financial institution, not a bank. Yes, they are FDIC insured. They are not a bank. So what you don't see happening behind the scenes is they are actually partnered with another bank called Sutton Bank. Sutton Bank is the one that actually provides that checking or savings account. And if you are doing something like trying to attempt direct deposit or something like that, then the routing number on your bank account is actually a routing number to Sutton Bank, not to Square, because Square is not a bank. So today, for one of my businesses that is not my law firm, I have other businesses, and I run operations for a number of small business clients, not just doing the startup and things like that. I have so many clients that process through Square, and I have a feeling that that's going to start to change, and Square is going to lose out on a lot of revenue because there is no functional process if you have an issue with your bank account to go through Square to resolve it. You are told by Square you have to go to Sutton Bank. So I called Sutton Bank today, and I used the lawyer card because it was a relatively time-sensitive matter. And I said, I'm an attorney. I need someone to call me back immediately, because the issue is that if you call Sutton Bank, it goes to voicemail. You can't get a live representative. You cannot get a bank person, an actual human on the phone. You have to leave a voicemail in 2025. You have to leave a voicemail. I'd rather have an AI assistant at this point. You have to leave a voicemail and wait for somebody to call you back. So someone did call me back relatively timely. I was kind of shocked. And here's the information I was told. What the request was for a bank verification letter, because I have a vendor with this business that requires an EFT, like a direct deposit. So vendor pays business, business receives that payment through direct deposit into their bank. Vendor has to verify that it is a real bank account before they're going to put that in the system and then make those payments. So we have a business that's waiting on payment for a vendor, has a bank account that they set up through Square, understanding that that would function like a checking account. And when they went to validate that, They can't validate it because it doesn't actually show up as Square from the routing number. When the vendor goes to validate it, it's saying they're paying Sutton Bank, not Square Bank. And then their entire system breaks down because it is all automated. They don't have a human to review it to understand there's something else happening. System breaks down. So now we can't verify that the Square Bank account actually really exists. I call Sutton Bank because I'm told by Square, we can't do that here. We don't actually have a human that can do that or sign a letter saying this is a bank account. We can generate an auto-generated letter for you, and then you can use that for your vendor. Vendor says, doesn't matter. It's not signed by a human. You could have just typed that out and cut and pasted the Square logo on it. It's not valid. So vendor is not able to validate through Square, through the letter that Square auto-generated in their system, that it's a valid bank account. They think I'm making it up. Square says you have to call Sutton Bank. So I call Sutton Bank. Sutton Bank, when they finally call me back, I say I need a verification letter that says that this is a valid bank account, that it's a Square account, but that you operate this actual bank and that the routing is through Sutton and it is a valid account. The entire reason I'm making this video is because what the woman told me is if I wanted a bank verification letter to verify that the bank account existed, I had to submit a subpoena to them. First, I laughed because I thought I didn't hear her correctly, and I said, I'm sorry, I thought you said I had to submit a subpoena to Sutton Bank in order to verify my own business bank account with my name on it, that it really exists. And she said, yes, you have to submit a subpoena. Exactly who is paying the hourly rate for a small business, if it wasn't me and it wasn't owned by a lawyer, who's paying the lawyer's hourly rate that in most metro areas is anywhere between $400 and $500 an hour? Who is paying that for a small business to be able to verify their own bank account that they own? Do better.